So, welcome back to our channel. For those of you who already know me, thanks for coming back. And for those of you who don't, my name's Daryl and I'm the owner of Crystal Clear Polishing. I'm going to do a wash tutorial for you. This is my car, doesn't get looked after very well. So I'm going to do a wash video on this today to show you how to look after your freshly ceramic coated car. So obviously the vehicle's quite dirty. It was only cleaned a week ago, but the vehicle is quite dirty. We've got a lot of dust on there. So what I would recommend doing is using a snow foam or a pre-wash, or you could use a combination of the two. In this case, we're going to use a snow foam, so I'm going to spray the snow foam on. I'm going to let it dwell. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the vehicle isn't hot. You'll notice the vehicle's wet. That's because it's nice and sunny outside. I've pulled it inside. I've sprayed it down with water to let the vehicle cool down. So I'm going to prepare the snow foam now. I'm going to spray that on. We're going to leave it for a couple of minutes and then we'll go from there. So as you can see, the vehicle is quite dirty. We've got quite a lot of surface dirt out there. So the whole aim of using the snow foam is to remove that. So when applying your snow foam, it doesn't need to be really thick. It hasn't got to look Instagram fresh. A nice moving snow foam is good. So as you can see, the snow foam is moving quite well on the vehicle. And what I'll show you now is the dirt on the snow foam that's running off of the car. So the snow foam's already doing its job. It's starting to eat into that dirt and it's pulling it off of the vehicle, as you'll see in the next clip. So we want to leave this to dwell for a couple of minutes. We don't ever let anything dry on the vehicle. Once it's dwelled for a couple of minutes, then the way we jet wash it off is I would always recommend doing your edges first and then colouring in the middle. There's no point in just standing back and just blasting it off, because it's the pressure from the water that helps remove the actual dirt that's sat on your paintwork. So by going around the edges and colouring in the panel, you're ensuring that you're not missing any spots and leaving any dirt behind. So as you can see, the dirt is in the snow foam. It starts pulling off of the tyres. So this is why you don't want a really thick snow foam, because if you've got a really thick snow foam, it won't move very well. And if it's not moving, it's not going to be removing that dirt. So we're going to use this wing as an example. So as I was saying, we're going to come around the inside of the wing afterwards, but first of all, we're going to just do the edges. So we'll start on the edges, and then we'll come in and colour in the interiors. So by using this method, we know that every single part of that panel has had high pressure water on it. So there's no areas that's been missed, and there's no opportunities for bigger lumps of dirt or anything like that to still be on the panel. So another key factor with this as well is the distance that you are to the vehicle. So you don't ever want to be like this close, because you've got a good chance of damaging, or if you've got any loose paint or anything there which could possibly be an issue, it will most likely become an issue. But likewise, if you stand back here and just do this, you're not really doing a lot. So in an ideal world, you want to be about 1.5 to 2 foot away from the vehicle, and then that gives you a good amount of pressure depending on what nozzle you're using. In our case, that's the right amount of pressure to be able to remove the dirt safely without risking any damage to the paintwork. So the next thing I want to discuss before we carry on jet washing the vehicle down is obviously grills. You don't ever want to, when you're spraying your water with your pressure washer, obviously you are using high pressure water. So you don't want to be spraying directly onto the aluminium radiator behind, especially if it's warm, as you could do damage. Especially on more high-end vehicles where they've got a lot more radiators closer to the front. So what I always recommend to do is to spray on an angle. So from up above, probably around a 45-degree angle. At least then that way you're hitting the grill itself and you're not blasting water straight through to the radiator. So now we've washed all of the snow foam off, I would say we've probably removed around about 80% of the dirt. So anything that's larger, that's got a good chance of swirling or scratching or marking or damaging any of the paint, we should have already removed. The only other thing you could have done if the car was a lot dirtier than what mine was, and you had a bit more heavier contaminants on there, so like bigger lumpier stuff like lumps of mud or even cow horse poo, anything like that, you could use a spray-on citrus-based pre-wash. So that effectively does the same job as snow foam. It's just a little bit stronger. So that would dissolve things like bird poo, tree sap, so on and so forth. Bugs in the summer, when you've got a lot of bugs on the front of the vehicle, it'll also remove that a lot easier than what snow foam will. So that's also another thought. So now the vehicle's been washed down, obviously time is of the essence. So what we're going to do now is we're going to prepare our buckets. So we're going to have 2 buckets. We'll have a wash bucket and a rinse bucket. Both buckets will have a grit guard in the bottom. So what the grit guard does is when the water passes through it, let me grab one. So we will have 3 buckets on the go. So we'll have a wash bucket, a rinse bucket and a wheels bucket. The wheels bucket's just over there. So each bucket has got its own grit guard in. So this is a grit guard. So we use the cyclone ones. So all the dirt and everything goes in and can't come back through. So the bottom of the bucket, afterwards, if your car's dirty and the snow foam hasn't done its job, any dirt that comes down will go through this grit guard, sit in the bottom of the bucket and won't be able to come back up. So we've got one of those in the wash bucket, one in the wheels bucket and one in the rinse bucket. So if we get these ready now, then we can move on to the next stage. We have our 2 buckets. We've got a wash bucket and a rinse bucket. We need to fill our wash bucket up with water. Now our wash bucket's full, we're going to add the shampoo. Any pH neutral shampoo is going to be fine. We do use either Wax's Dead shampoo or Bristol Supplies shampoo. So you can order both of those online from either or distributors. But yeah, so I always put a little bit in the bucket and just to finish off, I get my jack. Now this bucket's full, we just want to fill the rinse bucket up as well. So now the rinse bucket's full, we're going to move on to the contact stage of the wash. Sure. So when we get to the contact stage of the wash, what I always do is, obviously you always got to remember you've got 2 sides to your wash mitt. This comes in quite handy while using our method of washing. So the first thing I'll do is I'll get the wash mitt and I'll do this half of the roof down onto this half of the windscreen, and I'll flip the wash mitt over, then I'll do these 2 side windows, I'll rinse out in our rinse bucket and then I'll carry on and do the other side. So when you're shampooing, like so, you don't want to put any pressure on the wash mitt. You're not scrubbing, you're not like trying to get something out of your clothes. You're literally just letting the wash mitt glide. You just shouldn't need any pressure. Don't forget to go underneath your wipers, and also always be cautious of the edges of bonnets, because some vehicles you can't lift your wipers up. So now we've done this half of the roof and the window, I'm going to turn the microfiber wash mitt over and come down the pillar and do our side windows. A wash mitt in the rinse bucket, we squeeze it out onto the floor and then we put it straight back into our shampoo bucket. Whenever washing a vehicle, you should always go in straight lines. This is the best way to do this. At least if you do happen to catch any contaminants, you'll have single lines to deal with instead of people who like to do this, because all this does is creates loads of swirls, whereas like this, you don't. So straight lines, no pressure on the wash mitt, flip it over halfway, come around and do the other side. I always draw a line from the top of this wheel arch to the top of this wheel arch, and then you break it down into sections. So obviously you've got your 2 sides to your wash mitt, so we use one side here, flip it over, another side here, down to your invisible line, into your rinse bucket, squeeze it out, into your shampoo bucket, then we do this section of the vehicle. We flip the wash mitt over, then we can do the rear here, and then we go over the other side, do the same again. Once we've done that, then obviously we're looking at the back, because the back of the vehicle and the lower ends of the vehicle are usually the dirtiest. So clean wash mitt, up to the invisible line, flip it over, start at the top of the panel as always, still not applying any pressure. Now we've done 2 panels, we're going to go into the bucket, squeeze the wash mitt out, and then into our soap bucket. Do the same again, one clean side, flip it over, and then we do this. So effectively, that's almost this side of the vehicle done. Not forgetting the mirrors. So now we're just going to do the front of the vehicle, working our way from up to down. You don't ever go down to up, always up to down. Don't forget, you've got your two sides to your wash mitt.
Yeah, that's it.
Then we flip the wash mitt. And now we flip the wash mitt and we do the last bit. So once we've done the sides, the roof and the front end, then we can move to the back. So same again, no pressure on the wash mitt, we're literally just letting it do it by its own weight. Once we've done this section, we're going to flip the wash mitt over and we'll do this section here. Just like that. We're going to do the lower parts. So you want to try and do this in one swoosh. Just gently hold the wash mitt and one part. The suds off the vehicle, it's down to our ceramic maintenance stage now. So we recommend using the ceramic foam from Wax is Dead. So you put a little bit of this in the bottom of your snow foam lads, then you spray it on the vehicle and then immediately you jet wash it off. So you don't leave this product to dry, you literally get it on, get it off, and then once you've done that, you then dry it with a drying towel. So there is another option. So if you don't want to use the ceramic foam, you can use the Wax is Dead Regen. So with Regen, what you can do is spray it on the vehicle when it's wet, as it is now, and then you can dry it into the vehicle and you'll get a lovely shine and it'll be nice and beady. But the easier option is to use the Wax is Dead ceramic foam. So this is the Wax is Dead ceramic foam. We've got enough in here to do this vehicle, so I'm literally just going to spray it on and jet wash it straight back off again. Okay, don't use this in the sunlight. Same as any product, don't use snow foam, don't shampoo, nothing, don't do it in direct sunlight. Make sure the vehicle's nice and cool. But now we just remove this simply by spraying it off. Right, so the next stage now is to dry the vehicle. So for this we're going to use one of the Bristol tennis spray drying towels. It's the best ones we've used yet. They're really nice and absorbent, and usually you can dry 2 or 3 vehicles with them. So same again, you don't have to do any pressure, just put it on and drag it and let the towel do the rest. Right, so that concludes our video. Obviously we haven't washed the wheels yet. We're going to do this in a separate episode purely because I want to show you the difference between alkaline based wheel cleaners and fallout removers, along with the tyre cleaners and different types of tyre shine, so silicone and silicone free. Hopefully this video has been good for you and you've learned a few different things, different techniques. If you've got any techniques of your own which you think we could do or might improve our methods of doing things, then please feel free to reach out and let me know. You can never stop learning and nobody knows everything. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. As always, like and subscribe. If you've got any comments or anything, please leave them down below and I will get back to you. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me, whether that's through our email, through our WhatsApp, through our Facebook, Instagram, anything you like, or even just leave a comment underneath this video. But this is how we wash our vehicles here at Crystal Clear Polishing, and this is how we recommend that you also look after your vehicles yourselves once they've been coated by us with the Wax is Dead. So if you've got any questions, comments or anything, please leave them below and I will get back to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video.